Welcome. This is Leading Las Vegas. I'm Danielle Ford of DanielleFord.com, where visibility makes a difference. And I'm here with Stacie Frazier. We've been friends for years now, worked on some different projects together, and you guys have to check out her website and what she's doing because she's always up to new, really fun, creative projects that are always towards empowering women and showcasing the female body in a very positive way, which I love. But recently, she has launched a new project that I was just like, oh my gosh, when I saw it, and I had to ask you about it. I had so many questions I wanted to just like blow her up on Facebook about, but I decided I wanted to ask you so everybody can hear about it. So we're gonna jump into that in a second, but first, can you tell us a little bit more about what you do? You're the owner of Hot Shots, or yes. I think I say that wrong.
Well, it's really Haute Shots, like okay. Haute Couture.
Okay.
But absolutely everybody says Hot Shots. But I want to make sure people know that it's Haute because, you know, you spell it differently than hot. So yeah. It's Haute.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So when you guys go check it out, make sure you type it in the right way, regardless of how you actually say it.
Yes.
So your new project that you recently launched is called Bag Ladies.
Yes.
And it's so provocative.
I know.
And I'm obsessed with it. Can you tell us a little bit more? Also, I'm going to put links below, you guys, so you can check it out and find like my favorite pieces. But can you tell us a little bit more about like what made you decide to do that?
Oh gosh. So, I mean, it's been building for a while as I age as a woman. I keep looking at this like it's the camera.
That's okay.
As I age as a woman, you know, I'm very introspective and I see changes with me and I see changes in society. And with online dating, especially, it just brought so many things to the forefront for me that are a real concern, to the point where I began to feel like I was just a body and that everything else that's important about who I am as a person was completely erased or looked over. And I was thinking about this one day and I'm like, really, you know, that saying, just put a bag over it, is true. I could literally just have a bag over my head as long as my body is showing and it looks hot. And that's all that seems to really matter. I know that there are men out there that appreciate more. So I'm not, you know, being a man hater or anything because I love men. I want to be valued for more than my body.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's kind of good to do that disclaimer because I'm the same way. I'm not like, oh, all men, this and that. But it's whether they do it like consciously or not. It's almost like they've been brought up to expect a woman to be a certain way.
Yes.
And then they feel disappointed if those needs that society has instilled on them are not met.
And it really is not their fault. I mean, if you look at movies and television shows, I recently discovered there's something called the male gaze, and that's not gaze, but gaze,
like
you know, G-A-Z-E.
Okay.
And basically it's what we've all looked at in films and television our whole entire lives, and it's created by men for what they want to see in us, but not really who we are as people.
So what is the male gaze?
Okay, so well, imagine Playboy, for instance. It's where women really are more of an object than a subject. And I recently discovered this show called I Love Dick. I'm so happy I got to see that.
You can say it here. This is not on a network. We're good.
I know. And I saw this and I thought there is something extremely different about this show, and I couldn't really understand what it was. So I looked up the creator, and she's the creator of Transparent on Amazon Prime, about the transgender father who...
I need to take a bunch. I'm going to mental note.
Yes, no, you need to watch. Have to watch these two things specifically to see the female gaze in action. And it's an experiment because we're not really sure what the female gaze is. But Jill Soloway has a talk about it where she was speaking to filmmakers. And I realized that everything I'm doing with this project has everything to do with that, you know, trying to say, hey, there's more to us, and this is what we want you to see.
So are you saying that there's a female gaze and a male gaze and that they're different?
They are different, and what's funny, what Jill Soloway had said, is the female gaze is not the opposite of the male gaze. Okay. So let's say, remember they tried to do Playgirl, you know, kind of like the opposite of Playboy for women. But who bought that? Men.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's really
so it's totally different. It's where we are subjects and we're allowed to be complicated and messy beings. And we're allowed to explore female desire, which, doesn't get
Interesting.
showed a lot. You have to watch I Love Dick.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I'm
also
going
The
to.
Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, I'm all about it.
That's the female gaze too.
Okay.
So I'm excited because it's finally starting to get some recognition. So we're getting there.
That's really interesting. How have you, how has this project been received by people? Really quick, in case anyone doesn't know, because I'm just like, I assume everybody has seen it. The Bag Ladies project is women, like Stacie said, but with literally a bag over their head, so you have no idea who this person is, and then naked.
Yes.
Standing there naked and in all their glory, but beautifully, and the bodies are not Playboy models. I mean, some are, some could be.
They could be. And really, I was thinking about this. I think that I'm actually portraying the male gaze because we're saying, is this what you want? Is this all you want from us? Is to just be a body waiting for your pleasure? And
it almost seems like men would look at that and still be fine with it. But to me as a woman, I'm not fine with it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like this picture has done its purpose.
Yes.
That's almost like how I perceive men perceiving it. But then to me, it makes me so sad.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's so funny because the first responses that I got from men were completely based on judging the appearance of the women. And I had to tell one of them, I said, you just fell right into...
You just proved my point.
Yeah, completely. And he still didn't understand it. He thought he was being supportive. So I'm hoping that this is kind of an educational thing for everybody. Like, what do we want? Who do we want to be? What do we want to be recognized for? And what do we want to be valued for? Mm-hmm. Because it feels like we're all kind of drifting away from each other. And I don't think any of us really want to end up alone, you know? But it's looking like it's heading that direction for me.
I know that there's so many things I could ask you because I know you're very passionate about this subject on many different levels. But what do you feel like it would take for women to feel more comfortable dating and in their own skin, especially later in life, and for men to be able to just accept that that's what a woman looks like and what a woman is and be turned on by it? Where do you feel like that direction needs to go?
I'm not sure exactly how to get there, but I know it's possible because I've dated European men.
Okay.
And they view women aging differently than American men do.
That's really interesting.
And I'm not sure where the disconnect is here. I feel like we're kind of more about instant gratification here, though, and that falls into being a little more shallow as well.
Right.
The things we value are just different, and it has to do with money, appearance, and
the people that we idolize versus I don't know much about other cultures' media, but I feel like our media is just crap.
Yes, it is for women especially. Yeah. And it's funny, I read studies about French women and how they have so much more sex than American women because they're being valued more. They see the value in women as they age as like, I don't know, I think they value intellect more than we do. So, I mean, intellect is sexy. I hope more people start to think that.
Which is really, really interesting because when I like to participate, especially in Facebook conversations, and I see it from guys a lot, they'll comment something like, women, what is it that you look for in a man? And you see these women that are like, sense of humor, have to carry on a conversation, have to be smart, and then when it's flipped, it's like, oh, she has to be this height or under this height or have this type of hair or whatever. And its intellect is never like one of those things.
Right. And you can see that when you're experiencing online dating. It's insane. And you can see guys, like if you watch one particular guy's profile, he'll keep lowering his age and lowering his age and lowering his age because he obviously, he's not interested in women his own age and wants to date younger. And the things he lists kind of prove that too. Like I remember there was one, all he put on his profile was sex and music. So really, that's shallow. He's not really looking for much of anything except sex and music.
Okay. can't really base a relationship upon that. That might be something to go explore, but wow, okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. And I also, okay, so with the Bag Lady series, I'm kind of dividing it up into different topics. I have one on online dating, which is called Piece of Meat.
Okay.
And those are provocative headlines. And I'm not, I mean, am I a provocative person? I guess I am, but I definitely don't want to turn anybody off to these things. But I think it's necessary because that's how you feel, like a piece of meat.
Yeah.
Like you're just sitting there ready for somebody to send you a dick pic, you know?
Yeah. No, oh my God. I opened my Snapchat and I'm like, okay, I have 10 new messages. What percentage of these are going to be dick pics? Like, let's see.
Oh my gosh.
And then I always say something like, congratulations, I've just submitted you into my girlfriend's library of worst dick pics on Snapchat or something.
Oh no.
You win. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Just the fact that I don't know if men think women want to see it. Like, that's what we want to see.
That's what I can... Yes. Okay. So there was another conversation that I stumbled on from somebody on Facebook, a guy who was saying, you know, if you're posting provocative images of yourself on Facebook to the women, that you should expect that men are going to send you dick pics because they cannot control themselves.
What?
And I thought, wow, we could go so many places with that one. But no, that's not okay. That is not okay.
The act of pulling out your pants, opening the camera on your phone, getting the correct angle, snapping a picture, and then uploading it is not an impulsive reaction.
I don't think they consider angles too much when I think of some that I've seen.
I feel like we need like something in comparison, like a remote control or like this is not working for you.
I'm almost like, I'm a photographer. I almost want to just give them tips on how to photograph it or themselves.
I feel like
on my dating profile.
That could go viral. Like a blog like that. Like, here's the correct way to do a dick pic. Yeah. Proper lighting.
Oh
Make sure the shadows.
Yes, please do us all a favor.
If you're going to do it, please follow these 5 quick tips and steps. Oh my gosh.
There's also one like porn star, you know. I mean, people are learning to have sex based on porn, and that's all from the male perspective.
Yes.
So I feel like women are getting kind of a raw deal out of that, but.
And obviously, it's all very young women. You know, and so I think that's incredibly important, and one of the reasons why we feel the way we do with aging and men not appreciating it, because male directors are choosing what men see as sexy and sexual, and they're brainwashed. You know, it's like even in other cultures, like in African tribes, sexy is completely different. In fact, it's, you know, they even put the chains on their neck to stretch their neck out. It's just, I think it's very important for people to realize that what you find as sexy has been taught to you from your childhoods and from the media and society.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you don't really have, and women too, you know, women have been taught, and have you like thought about this? There is kind of the reverse with the men. Women are taught like men should be tall. It's like, what do you look for in a man? Tall, dark, and handsome.
And I it's so funny because I just had this conversation with Kat, my makeup artist, before I came over here. She put some lashes on. But anyway, we were talking about height. Like, it's only an issue, I think, for me, if the personality isn't matching. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It somehow compensates a little bit. And that's something I have to look into, you know, my own perceptions. Why do I think that?
Or there's like, I've dated men who are shorter than me, and I don't care. But I do care that they're sensitive about it, and that then they're insecure about it, and it makes me feel too tall.
Right. That's what I told her also. That the only times it's been an issue for me has been when they made constant comments about it.
Yeah.
You know, it makes you feel uncomfortable.
So, but it's because they're experiencing the same thing we are, just in different ways, you know? So that's probably a good way to relate it to men, of how we feel about everything else.
Right. Yes, they could maybe get it that way. That's interesting.
Yeah. This has been really eye-opening. I'm going to check out both of those things that you mentioned. I'm really excited about it. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Obviously, Stacie is just a wealth of information and ideas, and just I can't wait to see all the creative projects that come out of your brain in
You could do
future.
it, by the way. You could be in it if you want.
Let's don't say that. We'll talk about it later. We'll see. But so they can find you at Shots.com, and you're also on Instagram is where you do most of your social media for your business.
Yes, well, also my Facebook business page too, but people seem to enjoy the Instagram one.
Just so visual and everything. And you guys check out that project. Check out Stacie. She's an amazing boudoir photographer here in Vegas, and all of her images are just mind-blowing, but to me especially this new project was just like so just provocative and inspiring and much needed. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
This has been another episode of Leading Las Vegas, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys. If you loved this episode of Leading Las Vegas, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. You can also watch more episodes like this here or on leadinglasvegas.com.